Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about A Million Ways to Die in the West. And this movie came out in 2014, starring Seth MacFarlane, and it's also directed by him. And Charlize Theron is in it, Liam Neeson, Neil Patrick Harris, and I absolutely hated this movie. And overall, the movie did feel like it was pandering to people who like Family Guy and people who like Seth MacFarlane in general. And if you fit under that crowd of people, then you're going to possibly enjoy this movie because it very much captures what that show is. And personally, I'm not really a big fan of Family Guy. It just never really connected with me. It exists. I think it's fine. I just forget about it after I watch it. Like, I've seen bits and pieces of it across social media because people just really enjoy it, I guess. But I'm just not one of those people. It's just not for me. And this movie was just the worst parts of what I found in Family Guy, just in a live action film. And I didn't really like the music in this movie. I just found it to be trying to be adventurous. But the problem is the movie never does anything to justify that tone. Nothing about this movie feels adventurous or like interesting or fun. It's just very bland. And when I say that, I don't just mean from the perspective of the script. I also mean that in terms of how the movie is shot. And every scene in this movie looks exactly the same. Like, there's no visual flair to it. It's all very boring and nothing interesting going on. Seth MacFarlane was really annoying in the movie. And he just kept doing the Brian voice that he does in Family Guy. And a couple moments he does the voice for Peter, but I just kept thinking to myself, why are there so many characters in this movie? Like, there's a decent amount of characters that just don't need to be in the movie at all. Like, Neil Patrick Harris, it could have been cut out of the movie, and the whole love interest stuff could have been, like, removed entirely, and his side characters, his friends, I guess, or whatever, could have been cut out of the movie. Like, everything could have just been cut out of the movie. Like, this movie did not need to exist. The humor, I never laughed once. It was very boring, and it was on Netflix, so luckily I was able to watch it at 1.5 times speed, which made it slightly more bearable, but it was still incredibly cringeworthy at the really bad comedy moments. And there are scenes in this movie where the comedy goes on for so long that it really just starts to get irritating, and I just wanted the scene to end already. And this movie is 2 hours long, and it so does not need to be that long. Like, this could have been like a kind of a funny 2-minute gag in a Family Guy or whatever, but nope, it had to be a feature film for some reason. There's also nothing likable about any of the characters in this movie. It's just, hey, you should feel bad for our main protagonist because he just gets beaten down into the ground by everyone. Isn't he a sympathetic character? Nope, there's just nothing to like about him by the end of the day. The pacing in this movie is horrendous, and everything just feels incredibly slow, and there's just too much in the movie that just needs to be cut out. Like I've said already, the movie also feels incredibly repetitive. It just feels like the same scene happening over and over again, and also I didn't care for the romance in the movie. I found it to be incredibly forced. And one last thing to mention is that there were moments in this movie where the comedy just made me cringe so hard that I actually had to put the movie on mute for a minute just because I couldn't stand it. I literally couldn't stand some of the humor in this movie. So I just put it on mute, and now it's fine. So if you ever come across like some of the worst lines of dialogue you've ever heard in your life, just put the movie on mute during that scene or moment or whatever, and now it works. It's tolerable now. It's a life hack. And I normally don't do that, but I just had to do that for this movie because otherwise there would be absolutely no way I could sit through some of these scenes. And you might have noticed by now that I haven't yet talked about my positives for this movie, and there's nothing I liked. Literally nothing that I liked. I was trying to think of like one thing that I appreciate, one thing that was interesting. Nope, everything just felt incredibly thrown together and just lazy and just the easiest joke you could possibly make out of all of these things, and just not for me. Very Family Guy-esque. Could have been like a short film or an episode in Family Guy and would have worked better. And that's how I feel about it. So skip this movie if you ever come across it. It's bad. I think everyone knows that it's bad. No one likes it from what I've heard. And I watched it and I can confirm that there's absolutely nothing to like about this movie. So with all that being said, I'm going to give A Million Ways to Die in the West a 1 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of A Million Ways to Die in the West, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Buried. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.